Well, joining me live now to talk about climate change innovations in LA and other cities around the world is Edith de Guzman, Director of Research at LA-based nonprofit Tree People. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So as we know, Los Angeles is trying out a number of different green initiatives. Why is it so important to take these steps now?
Certainly. So as you've already mentioned, cities are heating up at a faster rate than other parts of the world, non-urban areas of the world. Additionally, in Los Angeles, as in other cities, those who bear the brunt of heat impacts are low-income communities of color. So if we don't take action now, an issue that is already killing more people than all other weather-related causes combined will only become exacerbated.
So then what are some of the ramifications if LA doesn't act and act decisively?
Certainly. So we're already experiencing deaths from extreme heat today. And as you heard earlier in the segment, in Los Angeles, we have the dubious distinction of even having some of this experience in the wintertime when we have occasional heat waves that catch people unaware. If we don't do anything about that, we can expect that in a warming planet, those outcomes will only be increased. And certainly we're seeing that with a very vocal youth that is demanding action, we will have much to answer for if our generation doesn't do something about it now.
And one of the ways that we saw in that report was this focus on this sidewalk goo to help lower road and building temperatures. But what are some other technologically advanced initiatives that LA is really taking to try and address these rising temperatures?
So pavements are certainly one approach to doing this, but we have to think about all of the different levels within the city. And we heard from our friends at Climate Resolve earlier in the segment that Cool Roof Ordinance was passed. The city of LA was the first major city to do this for residential roofs, and this is being expanded to other land uses. So we have to think again of all of those various levels. But there are also very sort of low-tech approaches that we must not ignore. Trees are nature's air conditioner. They not only provide shading, but they also provide evaporative cooling. So it's literally a sense of feeling cooler just by virtue of being surrounded by urban greening. Not only that, together with cool city technologies like cool pavements and roofs, what you get is an increased benefit by shading those types of surfaces.
Now, we know that California is moving ahead, but then you also have, of course, the Trump administration pulling in the opposite direction from some of these greener initiatives. How much harder is it for individual states and private companies to get the funding and support they need to really implement these initiatives?
Fortunately, we are in a city that has been really progressive, that's within a state that is quite progressive and has led on many of these issues for many decades. We have ambitious targets within the City of LA's new Green New Deal that's been published recently. And we have a very strong network of nonprofit, academic, and governmental partners that are working together to study some of these issues. Now, so for instance, we have the Los Angeles Urban Cooling Collaborative that both Tree People and Climate Resolve are part of. And what we're looking at is an optimistic approach. We're looking at what if we were to change land cover strategically and add certain, we're calling them prescriptions, of tree canopy cover as well as reflectivity, solar reflectance. How many lives would we be able to save? And we've been able to find through research that we've conducted with some national partners that 1 in 4 lives currently lost could be saved.
And Edith, using LA as an example, would you say that LA's situation is unique compared to other urban areas around the world that are also exposed to higher temperatures all year round?
I don't think it's unique. I think certainly every city has its own unique characteristics, but cities, because they are warming faster than other parts of the planet, and because the largest proportion of human people, residents, now live in cities for the first time in the world, this is an issue that is being experienced throughout the world, even in latitudes that we would have never thought, places like Canada and places where you would have just imagined that extreme heat would not touch now are being touched by this issue.
All right, thank you so much for your insights. Edith de Guzman there, Director of Research at LA-based nonprofit Tree People.
Thank you.